Previously on TVSins.
Mike! Mike! Mike!
Mick's dead. Oh. Yeah, and I accidentally stomped on him on the bridge.
A minute and 36-second theme song. This therapist has opted for a titillating piece of waiting room art that is sure to start a counsel-worthy conversation between a person's psyche and reproductive parts.
Have a seat.
I'm no mob boss, but if I were, I'd want to sit facing the door, so I couldn't be caught unawares.
My understanding from Dr. Cusimano, your family physician, is that you collapsed.
I'm not sure if I should send this show or the movie analyze this for the weird mobsters in therapy pop culture deluge of 1998. But since this show came out 3 months earlier, this can just be a sin for making me think of Dante's Peak and Volcano.
How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling very beige on beige on beige.
Look, it's impossible for me to talk to a psychiatrist.
Any thoughts at all on why you blacked out?
Man, this relationship between Tony and Dr. Melfi is one of the show's best. The counseling sessions are a stroke of genius on the creator's part and do a great job of differentiating this show from all the other gangster dramas out there. Glad they won't do something stupid down the road and create a will they or won't they subplot for a series of episodes. I've never understood families who consume milk out of a jug like this. Why spend the time pouring milk out of one jug into another jug? And what happens if all this milk isn't consumed during breakfast? Does it get poured back into the first jug?
How do you stay so skinny, Mrs. Soprano?
Him, with those ducks.
The stress of your husband feeding ducks causes so much anxiety that your body burns enough calories to keep your weight off? You're thinking entirely too much about Mr. S and his ducks. Chill. Gain a few.
Look, they're trying to fly!
National Geographic.
Super.
Kids!
Last year at Aspen, I saw Skeet Ulrich.
Even in 1998, trying to make Skeet Ulrich a thing seems dated. And you thought David Harbour invented sexy paunch. Dad bod, meet mob bod.
I don't know where this story is going.
Me either, Doc. Mahaffey has clearly graduated from the Rickon Stark School of running away from things. I mean, I've never been chased by mobsters, but if I were, I wouldn't run along the road where the car can easily follow. I'd run into a building with witnesses and access to a phone to call for help. How did Christopher get here? The last time we saw him, he was chasing down the car looking injured. The only way he kept up with the car chase is if he's on drugs or a secret superhero. I'll give you one guess as to which is the likely answer. I really want to take this moment seriously, but the punch sounds are too much.
That's $3,000 here! $3,000!
For a headlight? If you were to get a headlight replaced on a Lexus in 2019, it's an average cost of $385. What the kind of car repair inflation was going on in 1998? Look at those gerbil bites on Tony's hand. What? You think he got those from punching Mahaffey? Nah, forget about it.
It's none of my business. But down at the club, the word is your Uncle Junior is gonna whack Pussy Malanga.
And this is, oddly enough, how Silvio decides to use Uncle Junior Whacking Pussy Malanga as the title for his upcoming strip club amateur night.
Uncle Junior's my father's brother. Good guy, just getting old. Cranky. Used to take me to Yankee games when I was a kid.
Uncle Junior is a bad guy for many reasons, and subjecting poor innocent children to the Yankees puts him over the edge as the most horrible person on this show.
You just speak to Uncle Junior about Artie, okay? He respects you. He'll listen to you.
Does Tony really think having his mother speak to Junior will help the situation? And he hasn't even explained what Uncle Junior is going to do to Pussy Malanga, so she doesn't even know what to talk to him about.
Think I got a brain tumor?
Well, we're gonna find out.
What a bedside manner. Very encouraging.
That's not the first time Nurse Jackie would have a poor review from a patient. The pig heads have been there the entire time, and Christopher is very familiar with this space, so why is he acting surprised that these little piggies went to the market?
Tony watches Godfather 2 all the time.
Tony prefers 2, not 1.
To be fair, that makes more sense as a cause for a panic attack than ducks flying south.
I had a semester and a half of college, so I understand Freud.
1998's version of reading a Wikipedia article and knowing everything about something. Tony has stormed out and Dr. Melfi strikes this pose. As a self-proclaimed body posture expert, I can tell you 2 things. 1, she's unhealthily obsessed with this statue in her waiting room. And 2, this pose is one of self-confidence and power, but more importantly, it allows her to check her incredibly potent BO.
1, 2, 3.
Based on how they were swinging the body in a level instead of upward motion, what did they think would happen? Also, the situation went from murder cover-up to Return of the Zombie. How else did it sit up on his own? Brains.
Die!
5 full seconds pass from the time Tony passes out until someone moves to his aid. This family dysfunction is depressing enough for me to add it to the agenda for my next therapy session.
Do you have any qualms about how you actually make a living?
A question asked to CinemaSins staff somehow makes its way into this episode.
Here we go. Here comes the Prozac.
Oddly enough, here comes the Prozac was what my college girlfriend would say to me right before
How could he not have the money?
The man does not have the money.
We ran the man over with the car, T himself.
Getting hit by a car does not mean you instantly have money. If it did, nobody would yell, "Hey, I'm walking here." We'd leap into traffic and get paid.
Oh, little pussy. You think he's gonna a big pussy? My pussy?
I'm not saying there isn't some good writing going on here. However, I do feel like when it's Tony's crew talking, David Chase worked with a gangster dialect dictionary and a pair of 12-sided dice.
Sandrine, stay with drinks on the house all night.
First off, something tells me Tony has never had to pay for anyways, so not sure why this announcement is made. But what would even be the special occasion? Them having to figure out a way to make a murder take place at a different location? Isn't that every day in the waste management disposal business?
I'm not going.
Going where?
Every year on this date since you were itty-bitty.
You know what I regret asking? Skip!
Tell you the truth, I felt it was dumb since I was 8.
Teenager has outgrown childish things like tea parties with her mother, but the dolls will remain to dry her angsty hormonal tears without judgment. Two things are grating on my nerves here. That outdated calendar on the wall and the ridiculous notion that a restaurant makes their staff use strips of tape to hang their tickets. Do you know how inefficient that is?
I'm trying not to be cynical.
And failing, because the only explanation for the scabs on Mahaffey's forehead is that he purposely made nice with a weed eater in the woodshed to injure himself beyond the broken leg. Cynic's got a cynic, I guess.
I can't. What are you talking about? We discussed this. You gotta leave town.
I get Tony is trying to help, but even if he gets Artie out of town for a few weeks, that doesn't mean he'll shut the restaurant down. He could have his assistant manager or someone else run it while he's gone, and then the hit would still happen and Artie would still be out of business.
Come on, it's JFK's hat. I put it off.
To be fair, this is probably very similar areas to where the hat has been when it was JFK's.
What do you think? I was Hannibal Lecter before or something?
Hannibal Lecter.
Mothers and their daughters. She'll come back to you.
Who knew Miley Cyrus gets most of her song ideas from The Sopranos? Weirdly, that actually makes sense.
Oh, good. Let's go.
Sports parents.
What do you guys want, perfection?
Only if you're going to turn this into a Tremors movie, which, for the record, I fully endorse.
I had a dream last night. My belly button was a Phillips head screw. And when I get it unscrewed, my penis falls off. I pick it up, I'm holding it up, and this bird swoops down, grabs it in its beak.
Show has time for this.
I saw the birds last week on cable. You think maybe that planted the idea?
I mean that scene in The Birds where Rod Taylor gets his bitten off does stick with you.
Hey, someday I'll tell them we torched the restaurant. It's the best solution.
Lying.
Everything's gonna be all right from here on in. Come on.
Oh, thank God, because if Pussy were to die and Tony was to get shot by his own mother, that would be really horrible. Or if Tony killed Christopher with his bare hands and in the finale he dies, and that would be the worst. Glad all of that will never happen. Tony is wearing loafers with no socks, and that is 100% a sin. Also, I'm excited to see how David Chase wraps this show up. I'm sure the resolution will be...
We are ducks, and ducks fly together.
Birdman, hello?
So you're not a great actor. Who cares? You tower over these other theater douchebags.
Hello.
I'm walking here.
It's like, whoa, baby. I mean, this cat is like Charles Bronson in The Great Escape. He's digging tunnels.
No retreat! No surrender!
How you doing?
How you doing?
Our existence on this earth is a puzzle.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.